Welcome to LettiSpeaks, where we turn pain into passion and find meaning through experience. Every day is a new day to find joy in the moment and live life abundantly. We speak and we listen and we don't take it lightly. Let's jump in and see what Spirit has to say. Good evening. Welcome to LettiSpeaks. Tonight we're going to be delving into a few of our oracle decks, and also we're going to be delving into a few of our tarot decks as well. We'll do two different spreads tonight. Our first spread is going to be with this I think it's called Evil Eye. We'll be going with this Evil Eye for spread number 1. And then for spread number 2, we're going to do the little miniature Evil Eye keychain for spread number 2. Right? So we're going to start with the bigger one. And I guess these are supposed to be like a some type of form of protection. But you know what? I feel like if you have knowledge of who your source is, then you are already protected. And so, but you know, some people, they establish things differently. And so this, for some people, may make them feel more comfortable, and that's okay too. So we'll start with this one first. I hope you guys are doing well tonight. If today is your first time viewing the channel, welcome. It's an honor to have you here. Tonight, you are here with me. My name is Letty. The channel is LettiSpeaks, also known as Sunfire369. And so, if you like the content, please do subscribe. It does help the channel to grow. You can share, like, comment as well. All forms of support is appreciated. And so, welcome tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I can't say that enough. And if you are returning, thank you for stopping back by, allowing me to speak into your life. As you know, I don't take it lightly. And so, whether you're returning or whether you're new here, welcome. All right. And basically what I'm going to do tonight is just a basic 3-card layout, taking a look at past, present, and future energy. Again, I'll be doing 2 different spreads. One is going to be with the larger medallion, and then the second one will be with the keychain, which is the smaller one. So you can go ahead and choose one, and I'll be shuffling. I ask that you use your intuition as you're looking at these. Not everything is going to resonate or apply to everyone. This is a general reading. So take what applies and leave the rest. Don't try to make it fit, okay? Past, present, and future. Future. We're going to take a look at the challenge. What is the challenge? And what is it that we may not see here? What is it that we may not see? All right. So past, present, future. This is our challenge here. And this is what we may not see. I hope this evening has treated you well this far. Happy Friday. And this week was actually Valentine's week. And so for those of you that celebrated with that special someone, I'm sure it was beautiful. For those of you that don't have a special someone and you celebrated yourself, I'm sure that was beautiful too. You know, and so however you brought in this week of love, I'm sure that's okay. You know, I actually spent it manifesting energy into something that I can give away. That was my way of celebrating love. And so this is reading number 1. We're looking at past, present, future energies and possible challenges around these energies and what may not be being seen right now in the present energies. Excuse me. And so in the past, we have the brilliant beliefs, luminous life force, personal power. And I feel like this is an enlightenment is the energy I'm getting. In this picture, we see 2 snow leopards accompanying a woman, a priestess. She looks like she's definitely part of some type of galactic sky, right? And she's carrying this, looks like a ball of light. And it's almost like she's letting us know that we too can project a brilliant life force energy out into the world. And it's almost like there is this halo or this sense of protection or something happening around her crown. If you can see that, there's like a circle around her head, around her crown chakra, which makes me feel like there is something that is known, right? There's like a knowing of who she is, her true identity, as she's just really shining her light. And then the heart, right? Space is actually lit up also. And it's almost like the same energy that she's carrying, that message is coming out. And this is past energy. So this may be coming into the knowing of what it is, that you carry, what it is that is illuminated through you. The understanding of who you are and whose you are, and the power and the identity that you carry, knowing where you came from. So many times we are raised in environments that don't allow us to shine to our potential. Environments that don't teach us about who we truly are and what we're worth and what we're capable of. And so because of that, somewhere along the way, we tend to develop self-beliefs that tell us that we're not enough, that we're not deserving, or we're not capable, of making the things that are brewing in our hearts, things that we authentically feel called to. There's something telling us that we're not able to make it come to life, bring it to fruition. But that energy, that type of energy, carries a very dark sense of energy, unhappiness, blocks, when it comes to goals and desires that we want to bring into fruition. It's a very disempowering energy. But this card is almost like the energy of asking one to embrace your light and remember the fact that you are of your creator, you are of source. There is a oneness between you and source. And so I feel like, being that this is a past card, a past energy, these are awakenings that you have had towards your truth. There is an awakening to who you really are and what it is that you hold, what you deserve, and what you're capable of. And because you now hold this truth, there is the healing that's happening of old hurts, of those misinformed beliefs, even lies about your lack of power or your lack of value, right? Things that have been with you for a long time, but it's a reminder for others too that it's never too late to awaken. It's never too late to awaken to your truth and to let your most inner light shine. So this is the energy of having a renewed sense of self within you. There's a moment that you've had where there's this new you that arose from within. And I feel like the snow leopards that are by her side are signaling that there's a personal power that you have to overcome even your inner demons, right? Not all of it comes from outside of you, but some of the struggles come from within you. And yet and still you have the authority and the power to overcome those. As a matter of fact, you've now become capable of reversing these toxic mental patterns, reversing curses, right? You have that power. And when you soar and bask in your new brilliant beliefs, there's this wonderful new reality that manifests everywhere you go. Yeah, everywhere you go, there's this light that you bring with you because of this personal experience that you've had with your own life force and this encounter that you've had with your personal power. So in the past, there was an encounter that you had with these very brilliant beliefs that brought about a luminous life force within you and a sense of personal power. In the past, this has already happened. In the past. Yeah. And because of this, we have the Ace of Cups, the High Priestess, and the King of Swords. And that feels a lot like High Priestess energy, doesn't it? It does. So there's this knowing and this entering into this new phase that you experience. There's this entering into this new point in life. And I feel like it is, it has been a very deep, a very overwhelming, but in a good way. Not overwhelming. Well, it could have been overwhelming in the beginning because it was so different at one point. And so it almost may have been like leaving you in a space of like, what is this? You know, when you first began to step into that personal power, but it was overwhelming in a good way. Of this newfound freedom, this newfound love for life in a way that you've never been able to experience before. And with this newfound life, you found your deeper knowing, tapping into the innate part of yourself in a way that has caused you to trust yourself above anything else, right? Because of your oneness with Source, nothing is hidden anymore. Nothing is hidden. Everything feels and you see everything so much more clearly now. Before, things could have been a little bit hazy. Even with things that you thought you knew, it still always felt a little groggy, a little hazy. But now I see just a very clear glass that's see-through, almost so see-through that you might be tricked into just walking right into it. That's how clear, crystalline it is. That's how clear things are now. Now that you've had this encounter with yourself. And it feels good. It feels a lot like home. Yeah, it feels a lot like home. And I almost feel like there is this falling in love with life and with the new experience or the new way of relating to your experiences in life is what I feel. Whatever it is, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And you you carry it everywhere you go. It's not something that you can choose to keep to yourself. It's like you carry it everywhere you go. It's almost like you're causing change as you go about your way. In the present, we have setting boundaries, threshold protection, and honor. Setting boundaries, threshold protection, and honor. So in this picture, as you can see, the priestess holds her hands up with palms outward, and she's almost like projecting a field of protective light around her. At her side is a snow leopard again. Snow leopards again, right? That was in the previous picture in the past, but in the present, the snow leopard actually represents like a protective energy, standing guard over her, right? And so in the present, this message is bringing forth the energy of both encouragement and caution. Encouragement and caution. And it's asking to look at the boundaries that have been set. Right? Look at how the boundaries has been set around you, how you hold yourself up in importance, like how you prioritize yourself. Are you actually throwing yourself under the bus, when it comes to your priorities or your self-care and what you need? Are you throwing yourself under the bus in order to serve or please others? Are you allowing yourself to be pulled or dismissed or even minimalized or disrespected from those around you, encountering you? And if that is the case, in any of those situations, she is reminding you to say enough. Enough is enough. This may have been the situations up until now. You may have dealt with that and put up with that. Allowing people to cross into your personal space, invading your time or demanding your energy or taking up space that you should be maintaining or occupying. But this is a reminder that you now, and if you haven't, it's a reminder or an enlightenment to the fact that you stand in a place of power to shift that pattern. This is an invitation to start setting clear boundaries today. Not only set clear boundaries, but also make yourself a priority in your own life. Who else will do it if you don't? You deserve to be honored. Your soul deserves to be honored. But the thing about it is, you have to be the first one to make that choice. That's why her hands are up. It's almost like a surrender to self. Okay, we have to do this. I give up. I have to put myself first. You deserve it. And what you'll find when you surrender to yourself, to honoring, prioritizing, and setting standards for yourself, then you'll attract that energy. You'll finally realize and start to receive the respect and prioritization that you've been looking for all along. But the thing is, you have to give that to yourself first. Because the truth of the matter is, I feel like a lot of times we're teaching people how we want to be treated by how we treat ourselves and what we allow, right? And the beautiful thing about this is there's the enlightenment happening in the palms of her hands, right? It's letting you know that you always have had the power. It's always been yours. Maybe you did give it away for a while. Maybe you didn't even realize you had it. But she comes to remind or to let you know that you do have the power. And to add on to that, you have support in the background, right? You have support. It's almost like, and I'm hearing Spirit say this too, it's almost like having a big cousin that you can go and get, right? It's like, okay, this is going to be a challenge because I'm about to stand up for myself, but I may start something. And you may not feel too confident with what it is or who it is that you're up against, but Spirit says, but I got you, right? You got a big cousin that you can go get if you don't feel like you can handle it. And I got your back, right? And so in the present energy, this is about setting boundaries. This is about honoring self, prioritizing self, realizing what it is that you've deserved all along and not accepting anything less. This is about honor. Yeah. In the present, it's about honor. And of course, there will be times and there will be situations and there will be people that refuse to honor you. And I say maybe those are situations, those are people that may not belong in a, how can I put this? Those are people that may not belong, in a close-up position in your life. Maybe those are people that don't deserve a seat at your table. Maybe they get to sit outside and look in through the window as you're sitting down, having your meal, your peaceful meal with people who knows what it means to respect and honor in the way that you give the respect and the honor, in the way that you are able to not always have to be first, but you know how to consider other people and not have everything be your way or all about you, right? But it's an understanding, right? It's an understanding of what's needed and what's desired and, what's fair when it comes to connections. It has become really hard, to the point where I have no tolerance, no desire whatsoever to be around anyone that has no respect for me. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. It could be the President of the United States. If there was a lack of respect or honor, right? Well, you go over there and you be the President of the United States over there in the White House. Like, I don't need you over here in my energy, right? You go over there and do what you do. Obviously, it doesn't concern me. I've come to the point where my peace is the most valuable thing that I possess. And I won't compromise it for anything or anyone. Respect, pretty much on the same level. And I can say that without any type of hesitation because I know that I give that same level of respect. I give that same level of peace. I offer that same energy. Why would I expect anything less? Why? And so, let's see. Setting boundaries in the current energy. Yeah. Setting boundaries in the current energy. This is about honor. Setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. And so we have the Seven of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. And first of all, the Seven of Wands is calling forth the energy to have courage to do, to stand, to speak what needs to be done, what needs to be said. And to be what you've been called to be. It's the call to rise up to the occasion and to stand in your power courageously. And understand the spiritual backing that you have for what it is that you are being guided to stand for. And for some reason, the Six of Cups is bringing in either an energy from the past, or it could be something that's helping you, something that you take comfort in knowing or being able to refer to from your past, right? So there's an energy here as it pertains to something that you recall or that you think back on. in reference to setting good boundaries. Maybe there is someone that you can think back about that taught you something about, how you should be treated, right? Maybe there was a grandfather or an uncle or maybe a brother or someone from your past that actually gives that type of energy, someone who is able to give you that level of honor and respect and show you how you were supposed to be treated. That's the energy I'm getting. Someone who told you never to expect anything less than your worth, right? It's that kind of energy with the Knight of Cups here and the Six of Cups and the Seven of Wands. This is very healing energy, whoever this was. Yeah. So in the present, you are being called to stand, to set firm boundaries, to create a threshold of protection for yourself in that way. That will set a precedence of honor for you. And it's a reminder that that power lies within your hands. And when it comes to the additional support, you have it as well. You have it. So don't be afraid to assert yourself and to let your needs be known when it comes to what it is that you expect for yourself, what it is that you expect from other people as it pertains to you. It's in your power, in your hands. We are the ones that teach people how to treat us. Moving forward, we have the energy of healing the heart. And we're talking about the power of self-love. And I feel like this is not something that's just being introduced, because in the past there was this enlightenment that happened, right? The beliefs were ushered in and molded around this experience of you finding yourself, right? Which doesn't exactly mean that everything just automatically changes, right? Just because you become educated, that doesn't mean that all of a sudden now you know how to do a thing right. No, there's a practical part of now exercising what it is that you know. So you've come into the light of who you are, of what you're capable of your effect, right? Of what it is that you carry, how it affects everything around you. There's this level of significance that you've come to understand about yourself. And then in the present, there's the lessons that are being learned about you understanding that and demanding that from the world that you exist in, right? From the places that you'll frequent, from the people that will come into your energy. It's demanding and being able to set up a standard for you. And that's in the present place. There are lessons being learned around that. But as you move forward, there's lots of healing coming in as well. Right? healing coming in. And that's going to be as a result of setting these firm boundaries, right? Because there's a level of demand or a level of standard and expectation that has to happen here, right? And it's through that happening, it's through you being courageous and demanding what it is that you're worth, right? And what it is that you expect, and what it is that you'll accept and not accept. There's a level of transformation that's happening because of that. That will happen because of that. And because of that transformation in the energy around you, in your environment, in everything concerning you, now there's a level of healing that can safely and consistently pour in and happen, right? This healing around safe love. Now that there is an environment of safety, now this level of love can be cultivated even at a more greater level. And so here we see a picture of a priestess standing in her personal power, right? And as you look at this priestess, there's a bit more, how can I say it? She's a bit more assertive in her stance, a bit more relaxed, right? The energy in this coming towards in the future that you're coming towards is a bit more assertive, right? She is bringing the energy of personal power, being settled in it. And because of that, she brings this energy of healing and hope. And what's interesting is, if you've ever heard of sacred geometry, it talks about how there is nothing happens by chance, how everything has been calculated, even down to the very smallest, minutest parts of our existence. Like everything is pre-calculated and perfectly in alignment, right? And if you notice the rings behind her head, right? That's a sign of sacred geometry that encases her upper 4 chakras. And then there's the lower circle moving through her heart, as you can see that too. And this is representative of healing energy that comes in to uplift and to pour in peace and that personal power, right? There is a practice of sacred geometry that empowers one to tap into their own wisdom of self as it relates to sacred geometry, and how there is this empowerment very much readily available for us to align ourselves within our physical being, within our spiritual being, within our energetic being, right? And so with this priestess, she is revealing the inner strength that's readily available when needed to overcome anything that might arise from the past, right? Anything that might come to try to bring us back to heartache, anything that may have left us broken and longing for what was not fulfilled. This could be something recent. It could be something lingering, from a breakup long time ago. However, the scars that lie within the heart center, sometimes causes us to tap back into things that led to some type of misinformation or mistreatment, even things way back as early as childhood. Issues of rejection and abandonment, sometimes even betrayal, which is hard to conceive, like early in childhood, how betrayal could be like something that we would have to deal with, but it happens. And sometimes that's what drives our current perspective on our connections and our perspective on love. And those past experiences can cause us to do like a fight or flight reaction, sometimes shutting down, sometimes having like a emotional resistance to love in spite of our longing for it. But she brings in the energy and the space and the safety to be able to heal. The unhealed parts, the old heart wounds, and reverse those mental faulty conclusions that are actually blocking what it is that we desire from coming in. There are many circles here. One of them represents the circle of consciousness and thought. And the circle of consciousness and thought represents our higher intentions, where love is concerned. And with each powerful vortex of personal energy, there is the expanding strength, right, of our relationship with ourself. No one can ever take that away. We always have the choice to be able to love and care for ourselves, to actually look inside and, vent any frustrations, and also to act on our own behalf as well. And that's where this healing starts. It's by looking in at ourselves for what is needed first. Before we can receive it outside of ourselves, we have to be able to receive it from ourselves and be able to trust ourselves with our heart before we can trust someone else with it. And so this is a reminder that you are empowered to consciously, when they arise, when they become known, to consciously release old fears. And not only old fears, but the temptation to fall into neediness, the desperate neediness. But through this energy of self-love, the power of self-love will awaken our strong, autonomous being that lies within, right? That taps us into our life force. That's what's going to bring us the level of joy and contentment and confidence, right? Which will in turn make us not only feel, but make us truly like irresistible, right? And so living in our personal power of self-love. And this is the energy coming towards you in the future. Healing the heart. Which is very much a opportunity that is available between you and your higher source, right? This is the energy I believe your higher source would want you to be in, right? This very luminous, stable, just very abundant and attractive energy. So healing the heart in the future. Healing the heart in the future. Yeah. 7-7 could be significant. So we have the sun, healing the heart, the 7 of Wands again, and the 7 of Swords. Healing the heart. And I feel like with this energy in the future, I see you as really happy. When you step into that energy, you are going to know yourself front and back. And you're going to be very content and satisfied with yourself. Not like having to have a lot of things look a certain way. I feel like there's going to be like a release of form, right? And it's going to feel a lot like just falling in love with who you are, just as you are. There's not going to be a need for a lot of outside or external gratification. But if this is going to be internal, an internal contentment that you are going to step into with yourself. And because of that, you are going to find more contentment in life with the things around you. And again, it's the courage with the 7 of Wands. It's the courage to step forward and do that for yourself, with yourself. And the 7 of Swords, there's work to be done, right? There's the need to look at the whole picture. There's the need to not only work towards that by being diligent and so reminded when it comes to this, but also understanding that this is something worth guarding. It's something worth guarding. It's something worth protecting. You're worth guarding and protecting. And when you get to this point where you really understand, you begin to set boundaries and standards for yourself. You understand what you're carrying, and you step into this high frequency energy. you will need to guard it. You'll need to guard it because it's definitely going to be attractive. And if for no other reason, people may just come just to try to steal what you have. So you'll need to be in that diligent energy. Bold, courageous, on guard, watchful, you know? And so this is beautiful. I love this. I love it. 45 could be significant. The number 30, 27 could be significant. 21 and 20 could be significant as well. Healing the heart. Healed people are attractive. There's something that's beautiful, that's alluring about them. You know, I had this experience once where I was, and I've told this story before, but there was this experience I had where I used to Uber, and I picked up this young lady, and her aura, her energy, like it was so almost like angelic. And the impression she left once I dropped her off and she got out of my car was amazing. Like it was heavy in a way that it was almost like she was leaving like fairy dust behind her, that kind of energy. But it was such a beautiful energy. And her energy was very light. You could tell she didn't really have a lot of cares in the world, even though she was going to her second job. You know, she was kind of refreshing her makeup and just kind of really bouncy. But there was something really beautiful about her. You can tell. You can tell when there isn't the weight of the world and people walk in a very healing energy. You can just tell. And you would think that you would be able to go to certain places and you would automatically see this kind of energy, but it's actually not in the places that you think it would be, that you would hear people say and proclaim it to be, but it's in everyday places, everyday spaces, you know. You could be standing next to someone in the store with that energy. And so healed people are very alluring. There's something different about them. There's something beautiful about them. And so yes. And so what is it that is the challenge here with the energies that we've taken a look at? So we have the wise women of Wonderland. The wise women of Wonderland. So I feel like Spirit is asking or reminding you of a level. I feel like when we are brought to certain spaces or brought up to certain levels, there's a level of integrity that's required, or there's actually a level of integrity that has been required even for you to get where you are. Needless to say, to stay where you are, that same level of integrity is required. And so that's why they call it the wise women, right? We're talking about skill for living life. We're talking about experience. We're talking about being in a position, in a mental spiritual, emotional space where you're able to make good decisions, right? Where you're trusted to act a certain way, you know. And then it's also understanding too with this type of energy, there is a level of what some would call magic, what some would call miracles. But, you know, I feel like those are words for people that are not used to seeing a certain thing. And if I can just bring that down to just human understanding. Say if you go to a specialist hospital where there's a doctor who has breakthrough science and he's learned how to heal people, you know, within a couple of weeks of cancer. Like maybe there's some special, you know, method or special medicine or special knowledge that he's come across. And so now people with money, they can go and see him, and in a couple of weeks, their cancer is all gone. But then you go to a place that don't have that type of technology, and they have to go to like a medicine man or a medicine woman because they don't have the technology or the tools, the advancement in science to address sickness that way. And so they go and they get prayed over, or someone lays their hands on them, or they go and get some type of shamanic type of ritual, you know, to ask the spirits to come and rid their body of this sickness. And so one night, you know, it happens. And next thing you know, that person is healed. The people in that village or the people in that place that don't have the breakthrough science would call that a miracle. They would call that magic because they're not used to it. It's something that doesn't happen every day. But when you go over to the other side of the world where the doctor has this technology that allows him to be able to do it every day, if not every other day or several times a day, it's no longer considered a miracle or magic because it's well known. It's a well-known occurrence or practice. And so with the wise women of Wonderland, right? With that energy of integrity, I feel like Spirit is alluding to this level of occurrences, right? This level of, it's almost like being in the presence of, you know, energy or people that are able to afford a more enjoyable experience. The wise women of Wonderland, it's almost like this higher level of living that many would not expect to be able to live, right? But with that comes a higher level of responsibility as well. And so this is coming in as a challenge because there may not really be a full understanding of, maybe you've come into what it is that you carry, but you may not have actually received a full understanding of what that means, because I'm getting just that. I'm getting, as I look at this lady, she has almost like a wand in her hand. And so it's almost like the energy of unusual things taking place, things that you would normally see or experience, but I'm getting that it's happening, or it has the potential to happen if one understands what it is that they have or what they carry or who they are. And then the warning with that is not to compromise. That's the other side of being in high places, is the temptation is also greater as well. And so guard against the deterioration, the deterioration. I think that's the right way to say that. The deteriorating of the integrity that you hold, right? Not to compromise what it is that you have or allow it to be compromised. Because again, with this kind of energy, it's very alluring, right? And in the wrong hands, it could get, slippery. It could get ugly. It could get, turned into something that it's not supposed to be. And so there's the warning here as well, with what it is that is very much present in your energy, right? It's the warning not to compromise. Not to compromise. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if that's speaking to a situation that may be headed your way, because this is what you're not seeing, or this is the not what you're not seeing, excuse me. We haven't got there yet, but this is the challenge coming in right now. So I don't know if this is something that you could be kind of, dealing with right now, but yeah, that energy is coming in to beware not to compromise your integrity, not to try to take shortcuts or fail to seek, instruction. And so, what you may not be seeing is the lady of the gift, right? Which is almost like I'm getting that same energy. It's almost like there's something more that you don't see. The lady of the gift. There's something more that you don't see. And this has something to do with giving and receiving, generosity. There's like a reciprocation here. And it is very, again, that very magical energy. As you can see, it's almost like fairy type of energy. And so what you don't see, I feel like this is talking about something that you have, a special ability that you have. There's something that you're holding that you're not yet aware of. Yeah. And whatever it is, I feel like it's meant to be shared, because generosity and receiving is here. So it's meant to be shared. And so the thing that needs to be understood here, there's something to do with holding back that would not really serve your gift. It wouldn't serve the purpose of your gift well by withholding. And this could be something that you don't even know that you have. In turn, you could be withholding but not really understanding, because this is what you're not seeing. So the Lady of the Gift. And this could be very well, I understand how that would be in relation to being able to set good boundaries, asserting your personal power, and then allowing self-love to be the root of your power and your strength. Is understanding who you are, what you hold, how it is that you are able to maintain this level of integrity. It's not looking outside of yourself or really depending on anyone other than Source, right? Even though you may, in fact, be in connection with people, it's setting good standards for yourself because of what it is that you hold and who you are. So there's something that you're not seeing. There's something that you're not seeing. Yeah, so we got the Magician and the Five of Pentacles. And the Ace of Wands on the bottom. The Lady of the Gift. There's some type of ability here. And I feel that extra strong with the Magician. This ability could be the ability with the Five of Pentacles does talk about ill health. So this ability, there could be like a healing ability that you hold. Excuse me, let me get some water. Yeah, so there could be like some type of healing ability that you hold. And that's why it would not serve you to withhold it. It was given for you to be helpful. Generosity, receiving, right? That was the purpose of giving you this gift. And it's almost like she's blowing something out of her hand. So you could be someone who has healing abilities in your hands. Going back to this as well, the hands, right? And I get the feeling like whatever this is, there's the energy of doing it without even realizing that you're doing it. It's almost like elusive miracles or magic, right? The feather floating effortlessly in the air above the Nazar. And you could know this, maybe just not to the extent that you've been gifted. You could be someone that actually heals yourself, or you have healed yourself. And so, interesting. For whoever this is, you actually may have abilities that you need to tap into stronger, because there is something you're supposed to be doing with that. And the warning is not to withhold it. And so if you don't know you have it, you could potentially you could be withholding it, not knowing. And on the bottom was the Ace of Wands, and she was holding a wand, right? The challenge was integrity, the wise woman of Wonderland, and compromise. So this is very beautiful. I love this. I love this. So if this was resonating with you, let me know. Let me know if there's parts of this that resonated. This was the first reading for our first evil eye. And so I believe I will come back tomorrow and do part 2. But this was part 1. And so thank you so much for stopping by. I love to read to the point where I will be going through my day and I will feel myself reading without even putting the energy forward to do it. I just automatically kick into reading energy as I'm walking through my day. And so, but that's just my love growing, I believe. And so my love for what it is that I do. And so, and just tapping into it in more ways than one, it's almost as if it's becoming a part of you, a part of me. And so, but I love it. And so thank you all for stopping by and allowing me to read the energies, read into, what could possibly be areas of life where spirit could be speaking to you. And so, yeah, feel free. I would love to hear from you to tap in if anything is resonating. This will conclude reading number 1. I will come back tomorrow and do reading number 2, which will be the little small evil eye. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. I hope you sleep well. This is a perfect time to sleep in. Tomorrow, Saturday, for those of you that have weekends off, enjoy your weekend, okay? And I'll see you guys tomorrow evening. Have a good evening. Love you. Bye. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say before I sign off completely that if you are interested in a personal reading, I do have a few different types of readings that I'm offering. Down in the description, you will see my link to my calendar. Feel free to go over, schedule with me, okay? I would love to sit down and do a personal reading for you. And so you could also, if you feel led, there's a couple of links in my description as well of a couple of my handles where you can donate if you feel led to do that. So all forms of support is appreciated. And so thank you again. Good night. Bye.